Hey everyone, welcome back to What's Happening with Tarun Udnani. First thing first, thank you to each and every one of you who took out the time to watch the first episode. It really means a lot. And for those who still haven't watched the episode, don't sleep on it. We have some exciting guests lined up for the future episodes. So stay tuned. Today we have a very special guest, Mr. Kunal Mhaske, fondly known as KM. KM has been a powerhouse in Pune's nightlife and hospitality scene. He has created iconic venues like Club Coco, Penthouze, Living Room. Besides that, KM is also an Ironman athlete and competes worldwide. In today's episode, we are going to dive into his journey in hospitality, fitness, spirituality, and more. What's happening, KM?
How are you, Tarun? How did you get into all this? What is making you do all this? No, that's a big word. Don't say that. Anyway,
just
good.
kidding. Welcome to the podcast. And today's episode feels like we are doing a big gig. The crowd is here, and now I'm waiting for the guest to come, the DJ to come. So yo, finally.
So you mean to say I walk into the penthouse?
Yeah.
You spend a lot of my money,
Yeah.
but I see the place empty. So what did you do, Tarun? Have you done a good job or no?
Well, time will tell. So, thank you for taking out the time and coming today from your busy schedule. I know now you're an athlete and you have so many businesses to run, but thank you so much. It means a lot.
Great.
So we're just going to talk about after you completed your masters in the UK, you returned back home, you joined a family business. Shanta is one of the most known hotels in Pune. And you did the real estate business as well. And after a few months, you decided like this is not what you want to do. How did the idea of Penthouse come to your mind?
So I think it was about being a little bit of myself, because when you work and if it's only about making money, then it can have logic and no logic also if it's only about making money. But sometimes when you make money while you're having fun as well, I think that's a different high altogether. So I wanted to start a business which actually even made me feel good, and if I could make like more people a part of this and everybody enjoys my journey as well, then that was the whole idea, that why not something which is an entertainment line where everybody enjoys, it's a happy vibe.
Yes.
Rather than business being serious. Business doesn't need to be serious. You can actually have a very light-hearted and a happy-go-lucky sort of a setup also, which can make you money.
But do you still feel the same about it?
Did I say that? No.
15 years down the line,
Did I say that?
is the passion paid off?
So yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes passion is passion, and it does not have to always make you money. But yes, the other things happened. It did give me a lot of happiness of what brands I created, what products I created, what experiences, in fact, we created at our venues. And you know how it was. I mean, people have always responded really well to all the
Yes.
concepts that we created for the city. Whether I made money, I mean, I don't think I can answer that with very, big heart. Yes, sometimes, and no, most of the times. So this is how this industry is.
Well, you kept me and a lot of people employed for over a decade. So thank you.
No, but I think that goes hand in glove with this, right? Because, I mean, I'm not an expert when it comes to music. I have a very wide range of music that I like. I mean, it can be even as basic as my daughter's, these kids' songs that she
Nursery
listens to,
rhymes.
nursery rhymes, or then it can be like hardcore techno also. I've enjoyed all of it, and I think most of it I've kind of been exposed with this journey of mine being in the nightlife industry. So yeah, and I think how we book DJs.
Yeah,
I mean, you've introduced me to them, and then I've only asked you the numbers, that how much business that we can do with
No,
this
but
DJ.
we'll talk about that in length later. But I want to know that in 2012, the only benchmark at that time was Stonewater Grill.
Yeah.
I mean, they were doing a lot of gigs, and that was the place. How did you come up with the idea of Penthouse and locating it at the tallest commercial building at that time? How did you come up with that whole?
I think
Vision.
I've not been around in this city while Stonewater Grill was at its peak, but obviously I got a chance to visit it. That gave me a little bit of confidence of the city, that there is audience, there are people, and I think this idea of being on the rooftop was mostly because I traveled a couple of years before that while I was studying abroad, went to different places in Europe, And I did see a lot of different destinations, where it came to nightlife or where it came to like parties or listening to music via either festivals or via either like small concerts or even, just in small rooms.
Yes.
So, I think the best what I've experienced was being on a height, having a great view, being sort of in the nature and enjoying this was something that everything put together in Penthouse. So, when I saw this property, I think it just gave me that vibe that this can be like a place where people would love to enjoy and have a great time. And that's how we selected and finalized that property.
Yeah, I mean, the view from Penthouse is unreal.
Yeah.
You can see the mountains, you can see the city, you can.
Yeah.
It's amazing. At Penthouse is famously known for its Bollywood night gigs
Yeah.
called B Town Night,
Yeah.
which happened on the first Wednesday of every month,
Yeah.
which drew in about 800 to 1,000 people
Yeah.
on a midweek.
Yeah.
How? It's unheard of.
I think in that era, where everything was trying to get too modern and people were like focusing on EDM music or like, all these international DJs, these concerts were popping up, right? Like Sunburn and all these things. So think about it, that time, maybe Sunburn and all these big concerts are now promoting Bollywood music as well.
Yeah.
Back in the time, nobody did. So this was a big gap in the market that we have such, amazing talent in our city, in our country, very close to Bombay, where the whole Bollywood lies. And why are we ignoring it? And especially when our audience relates to it one on one, like everybody loves and has their own song. There are so many songs which brings back so many memories to people in Bollywood. So that was the thing which I felt, people actually freely enjoyed. Even if you see today,
Yes.
the minute there's a Bollywood track dropped, everybody just forgets about where they are and they just get into the vibe. So I think that was the whole factor, that let's just have one fun night. It was never about the business. The idea was basically just to have a fun night and bring everybody that we know together and let them just party. And I think that was, when we did this whole thing out of just pure passion and with a good intention, turned out to be the best night. And obviously, the end result was good business.
Right. But can you speak about how did the whole idea come up when you were in Dubai?
Oh, that night. So, yeah, like I went on a holiday to Dubai, and, like Dubai basically starts the weekend on Thursday. So, I was there on a Wednesday. I was staying in the Armani hotel there. And that particular night, we thought we're not going to go out. So, let's just go down in the bar and maybe like stay there for a bit and come back, have an early night.
Right.
When we went down there, it was like a long queue, super busy. Like we literally had to call the concierge and get us in there. And once we went there, it was like an absolute big Bollywood night. And that was shocking because imagine being in one of the most luxurious cities in the world, in one of the most iconic towers, with one of the most premium nightclubs, you can say Armani, having Bollywood music being played there. I mean, how can you not see this has potential? How can you not say this is not premium? I mean, all the ticks were done.
Yeah.
So we went there, we had a great night, and fortunately, I ended up meeting this DJ just to thank him for an amazing night.
DJ Manoj.
And it was DJ Manoj, who I had met him in one of the destination weddings. And we connected, we had a great chat, and we just said that, Manoj, I want to do something like this in my city. It was such a great vibe. I don't remember having like a full blown party night with just Bollywood music. So is it possible? And he's like, yeah, fly me down. I'll come there and we'll do this. And I think it was just the next Wednesday that we planned this. I think Tarun, you must have got a call, and you were like, like okay, so that you have to.
So, fun fact, I didn't join Penthouze back then.
You were not there.
I attended the first few beatdown nights and I was like, what is happening? 700-800 people don't show up on weekends also.
Yeah.
How
yeah.
come? What are these guys doing?
So this was, I think, back in the time where we just said let's
2013.
bring him. It was very spontaneous.
Yes.
And then this fun night. So because I didn't get to plan it, I didn't get to think about the whole logistics of promotions, marketing. What am I going to say to the city? How are we going to be looked at? Penthouse was again that time focusing on just a lot of new upcoming music. Obviously, EDM was the biggest thing that time. House music was picking up a lot, and between all these things, we dropped a Bollywood night.
Yeah.
And like I said, again on Wednesday, because we said, okay, why to kind of occupy our weekend, which is doing good.
Yes.
Let's try to put it in midweek. And it was oversold out. Like it was oversold out. And Manoj, you've known him now, you know his
One
music,
of the
you know how
finest.
he kind of gauges the pulse,
Yeah.
and he dropped such amazing songs.
Yes.
And it was one of the best nights we've
In
had.
the earlier days of Beatown Night, I have waited in a queue for like half an hour, 40 minutes just to get entry to the club.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Also, you were so ahead of time with the whole invite thing, with the dress code, with PR involved. How did you think of all these? No
I
one was
think
doing it at that time.
this completely relates to how I would like it. You know, like why out of so many clubs in your city or in your whenever you travel on a holiday, how do you choose to go to a particular club? So there has to be some key factors which makes you feel important, which makes you feel that you're going to be looked after. You know, nightlife is very like it has a lot of factors, and the most important factor is that you're getting out to have a great time. You want to feel important, you want to even be noticed, you want to kind of flex a little bit, you want to sort of have the best table in the club. Like these are all aspirations of nightlife. When people either go to concerts, you've seen what has been happening with Coldplay.
Yeah.
Like the idea is about, I don't know who the artist is or not,
FOMO,
it is just
basically. Yeah.
about I have to be
You
there.
have to be there.
You have to be seen there. How that fear of missing
Never.
out, basically. So that these are the elements that I used to apply to make sure that it is a special night for people. Otherwise you can get up and go
Yeah.
and go into any place and listen to music, have some like a couple of drinks, and you're fine.
Yeah.
How does it make it different when you made yourself feel special? You get that designated table in the place. You get that entry flawless, and the factor that okay, when everybody else is waiting in the queue, you have an invite in your hand and you can just walk in.
Walk in.
So all these ideas just to make sure that everybody has a great time. I mean, I applied on all these nights.
Can you talk more about the table wars during Beatown night? There used to be like if A table ordered for a bottle, B would order for two. That
Yeah, I mean
whole
that's
thing.
these are the things that happen in a club, right? Like
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's watching each other.
Yes.
Everybody's trying to being noticed there, and it is a sort of ego trip that people go into. You've seen how a
Yes.
nightclub works.
Yes.
From the car park to where your car should be parked
Yeah.
to your bill. There is a lot of things that people go through in their mind. That starting from people being, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
That question pops up the most, I guess, in the clubs while you get inside. But that tells you a lot about why people are coming here. Why do they say that? Is because they want that importance. So when people have had these tables and when that service was given them, the other person also wants it. They also want to be, like seen popping a champagne or, having that importance of sparkles around them and like being highlighted in the club. And yeah, that's what we used to do.
So during those days when we had 700-800 people coming in on weekends, on especially for Beatown night as well, how did you manage to make sure that things run smoothly? Like the team plays an important role here. Do you want to talk about that?
So operations of a club is like a big never ending story. Every night is a new night. Every day is a new day. Um, so yeah, it probably starts with you in your position when you booked an artist. The first question is, Tarun, how many people are we expecting? How popular is this DJ, or how big it can go? So once we obviously get an idea of what the turnout is going to be, that's how we sit with the team. You've been part of all the team meetings that we've had, starting from like how many valets we would need to how many bouncers we would need to how many service people
Right.
and everything. So I think you just always have to be prepared for the best and start thinking from the worst scenario that can happen
Right.
in the place, and how would you tackle that. And if you're prepared for that, then I think everything else is fine.
I mean, because of working with you and being at Penthouse for so many years, I've had this mindset where what's worse that can happen. The first thing I think is for everything. People get really annoyed. Like, why
Yeah.
do you think? I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being realistic.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared for,
Yeah, 100%.
you know, and at Penthouse is known for booking so many big artists. Like we had NUCLEYA, we had Anish, so DJ Chetas, and when we booked them, they were not right. Like they didn't make it that big.
Yeah.
Like they were about to.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of credit, but people don't know that you have played also a very important role. Like we have sat down, we have booked artists together. You have shared your insights as well.
Yeah.
No, Tarun, this will work on this day. We should do it. We should do it with this theme. There's a
Yeah.
lot which comes from you. People think you're just an entrepreneur. You just
Yeah.
sign the checks,
Yeah.
but you are heavily involved with
Yeah.
everything. I get the
Yeah.
credit, for, but actually it's you who have actually showed me the way.
Yeah.
Tarun, take this route. It is going to pay off, and it has. It
No,
has.
so it is. See, this business or any business rather has to be a great teamwork. I mean, it can't do without that. So I did my best of in my capacity. You put your skills and your thing together, and we I think stitched it together. So when you saw potential in an artist and you suggested me we should bring these, I tried to just do a little bit of a research on how I can make money out of it
Yes.
and which crowd would be the ideal crowd to call for this particular or promote to this particular artist. And I think that's something that I probably like also I always do my own research in a way where it's not probably direct research, but through people I know who travel a lot, people I know who are passionate towards music or party and everything. And if they give me the right people give me the right feedback, then I'm more confident about
Right.
even like accepting suggestions from people or trying new things and stuff like that. And I think somebody has to always try first.
Right.
Otherwise, how would you know? So if you've done 10 big artists,
Right.
not all of them make money, right? I mean, maybe 50-50, maybe 60-40. But some of these artists who've probably not made us money has been the greatest nights of Penthouse.
Right.
And that has added a lot of indirect value to our venue.
Right.
And maybe that's the effect that gives us on regular weekends where we don't have an artist. That is where it pays off indirectly. So if your venue is known for great artists, if your venue is known for great music, then maybe not that night, but other nights indirectly pay you off
Right.
because you get that organic footfall coming, people coming to a venue looking for great music, that this place is known for this kind of music,
Right.
or they're always known to bring you good talent, and that's how it is.
Penthouse has always been about pushing the envelope. Even when I remember when we used to have our arguments where I used to tell you, this club is doing this artist, this club is doing that, why are we not doing big budget artists? And you sat me down, you told me, Tarun, it's not about the artist. Try to understand. We can get a regular artist and we can build an experience.
Yeah.
Anyone can get these artists.
Yeah.
But what stands out is how we do it, how we showcase the event, what kind of experience we give. So that is something stayed with me,
Yeah.
I mean, now whenever I plan events, I keep that in mind that
Yeah.
we can't be that dependent. Obviously, you have to do big events to just keep it going. But the idea of theme parties came up. Penthouse is known for it,
Yeah.
especially the Halloween nights and all that. And you have put in so much of your ideas with the decor, and we have sat down before the event and planned, and that was great. Like it's great to have a hands-on boss.
No, but I think, like I said, this business I put in the category of entertainment. It is not an F&B business. It's an entertainment business, and entertainment is not one-dimensional. It's multi-dimensional. It has to come through you in terms of vibes. It has to come through you in terms of sound, lights. Obviously, like with the taste of food and alcohol, everything needs to be aligned to have a good night.
Right.
Otherwise, even the smallest thing can spoil your night. So I think that's what was the great combination of you suggesting great music and me suggesting great experience that can enhance the whole experience.
Yeah.
And I think that has been like one of the key factors of Penthouse.
So I have this one very core memory at Penthouse. It was back in 2014. We
How many core memories? Do you
many, but the one which stands out is we booked NUCLEYA.
Yeah.
It was sold out.
Yeah.
People from Gujarat, Nasik, Mumbai have come for NUCLEYA.
Yeah.
And I remember at that point, I was just I was 5-6 months into working at Penthouse, and you called me over to your table and you poured me champagne. And I was like, okay, fine. There's something is going right here. I mean, that stayed with me, man. I mean, that time I felt like, okay, right.
Yeah.
We are taking a right
So
direction towards.
there have been 11 years of Penthouse has been amazing.
But what is your favorite memory? Like one particular gig or something which you can remember and just smile,
my Memories, so I've made a lot in Penthouse, and not just for me, like for the whole city.
Yeah.
Everybody has some or the other memory associated with
Some
Penthouse.
people met at Penthouze, they dated and they married.
Yeah,
mean,
there has been a lot of incidences like that
But
also.
they haven't even.
But
They've
I
walked
mean,
in
for
with
me,
someone
it
else
was-
and they've left with someone else. Sorry.
But I think with Penthouse, my favorite memories are especially, that a little bit of a small celebration that we always did after the party, where, the place shuts down, everything is over, it's calm and everything, and that's when our party starts.
And when you call me over and say, Tarun, please tell the DJ to move aside. I want to take over.
Oh,
And
so
now I am going to play.
That's always been a post extended
This
party
is my
where
yard now. Move aside.
I think our job is done, Tarun. Your job is done.
Done.
The
Good.
DJ's been amazing. He's done his job. I think now here I'll take
Take
controls
over.
of the party.
And trust me, those sets have been crazy.
I've tried my hands on. I mean, honestly speaking, like in 10 years, I must have tried to get on the console 100 times, but I still don't know how to do it. Maybe this is a couple of few tracks I know. I still know how to drop them at the right time, but that's all I know about it.
It's been crazy journey. Let's talk about Coco and its legacy. Coco started in 2017,
Yeah.
which was a contrast to what was happening at Penthouse.
Yeah.
You focused on underground music.
Yeah.
Penthouse was more commercial, more Bollywood.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the idea of having another club one floor below? Who does that?
So look, we've done that also. Sometimes it's just circumstances. Sometimes it's just what do you call it?
That's another podcast where we talk about circumstances.
No, so I think yeah, I mean, good point. Basically, yeah, nobody's done that.
Yeah.
We've had two nightclubs in the same premises, and two different nightclubs. It's not like one nightclub with two different floors. It's two legit different nightclubs with two different kind of genres. Even the crowd.
Yeah.
People who love to go to Penthouse hated Coco. People who loved Coco hated Penthouse. Imagine that also happening. So we were definitely like two different products in the same property run by the same management, same owners, same team, which is I think very ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing was obviously like, I mean, I was evolving as well. Everybody was evolving. We started Penthouse in 2012. 5 years down the line, the city was changing. There was new people walking in.
New trends.
Music was evolving.
Yeah.
New trends were coming in. And I think, like I said, we've always been a little ahead on time. We've caught the trends. I think we've also been the trendsetters, to be very honest. So Coco was that experiment where whether it was the cuisine, which was Japanese, to having techno music and the underground music. Yeah, because like I said, Bollywood is commercial, EDM is commercial, house music is commercial, just all the commercial music which was already there, and Penthouse had by then become so popular that it was very difficult to segregate crowd. You've seen that nights where we've had some certain great talents, but people are not relating to the music.
Right.
So that's how I decided to start Coco as a product which is purely focusing on one, genre of music, and to just have this one place where people come only for music. So Penthouse was experiences, but Coco was about music.
But what clicked with Coco that it became like a go-to place for Pune's elite crowd? Like you had the who's who of Pune were there.
So that's the thing, right? Places were big in Pune, but what had started happening by then is that a little bit of, back in the time, everybody knew each other in the club.
Correct.
That was going down because new crowd was coming into the city. There was a lot of mixed crowd everywhere. I think what clicked for us is where we had that membership format that we started, which was for our regulars, where we had a dedicated space for them. So there was still a club within a club where people knew everybody, and then there was the rest of the club. So I think that was a key factor, that everybody knew that you can go anywhere in the city, but come to Pent and meet each other.
Correct.
So people went out for dinners. They just went. The new age of neighborhood bars started, like how Rasta we started at the same time. There was other places popping up in the city as well. So people preferred that a little bit initially, and then to go to a nightclub rather than directly going to a nightclub. So I think that's where Coco became the place where everybody did whatever they had to, and then eventually come and meet here, where they got their space, they got their privacy, they got to be with whoever they want to be, and yet there was another section which was super crowded for everybody to walk in.
Yeah, I mean, Coco was like, it was short lived, but it was fun.
Yeah, but I think sometimes that's the best part about
Yeah.
Coco, that it came,
And
it was there, we banged it, and the memories
set a
remain the
trend
same.
for other people to
Yeah.
now, and with Coco, I mean, there's so many memories, but I just want to understand at Coco, how did you come up with the whole aesthetic of the place?
Right.
What was your vision behind that? Because it's very different.
It was a very different design. It was a very different. It was all about black and black and gold, I guess.
Yeah.
That was our whole concept. But I think black and gold also, because if you talk about luxury, these are the two colors that directly come to
Stand
your
out.
mind. Black and gold. I think also the fact that, where we focused on music. I mean, this is, I'm giving you my opinion, my side of the design. That my whole focus was about music. It was not about how the place looks. It was not about fancy interiors. It was not
Right.
about chandeliers or like showpieces around, and like just
Right.
do aesthetics which don't mean anything in a club. So we kept the place dark. We kept the place all black, and we focused only on music and lights, which are the key factor to
Yes. Dark
just enjoy
dance
the
floor.
music. Just an
Yeah.
amazing dance floor,
Bang in sound.
just
The
good
lights.
sound. So
Yeah.
the factors.
Yes.
Three
Yes.
major factors: that we had an amazing light show, we had superb sound. I think till now I've never heard that kind of sound in
Yes.
any club. That and
We're the best of the best DJs coming down and
just the
playing.
just the best artists that we
Yes.
had, probably. I think Coco was the place where we've had the best of the talent.
Yes.
I mean, maybe people didn't think it was commercial, but the talent wise, I've seen the best artists
Yeah.
only in Coco till date.
I mean, it was no one's doing that kind of gigs anymore.
Yeah,
Will you ever open Coco again?
100%.
When will that happen?
One day.
Well, I'm looking forward to
No,
that day.
100%. I mean, all the brands that I've started have not just been only to do business, to be very honest. Starting from Penthouse to even our restaurants, which was Pesto, then your cafes like Jimmy's, and then even my new latest sort of thing that I'm into right now is coffees. I've started a new brand called Soil for my coffees. So all these things are for a reason. They are not just something that I'm just launching and like doing it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, the forte is not just to make money out of it. These are the things that I personally like. So all these brands that I've created are, even if you see, actually, people, from people's perception, they must be thinking that, okay, are ye chala nahi, aisa
Right.
tha, vaisa tha, whatever. But if you see one thing, that you drop a name of our brand and everybody knows about
Knows
them.
about it. Yeah.
It Everybody knows about them, whether they've been there or not.
Right.
So Coco is a very, it's a brand that I'm very connected to. So when you said, "Are you going to reopen Coco?" you didn't ask me whether it's going to be a nightclub. So I don't know. Coco might come back.
What will I do then?
Coco might come back, but you don't know in
In a
which form.
different
It can be any
avatar.
product.
Okay.
It can
Well,
be anything. I mean, it can be,
I'm
I don't know
excited
today.
to
It
know
can be
where.
about fashion. It can be about lifestyle.
Okay.
It can be about a
Nice.
nightclub, or it can just be like my own space where I just want to party with my own friends.
Oh, nice. Well, I know I'll be on the guest list then. So you've been here around since more than a decade now. What has changed according to you in the nightlife? The evolution of nightlife from where it started
Right.
and where it is right now. I'm not that happy about where things are going right now.
Right.
But what's your take on this?
The way I look at it, honestly, I think it's just at that stage where the circle is getting completed. So, everything starts slow, goes around, comes to a peak, starts going down. So, I think nightlife and music in general is going through that stage where it's coming to a point where it's going to completely change.
Okay.
So, this is that phase where it's coming to an end, and something big is going to come back. So it'll be a start of a new era, all new experiences, whether it's nightlife in general, whether it's music, whether it's DJs, whether it's producing music or playing music. I see it in a way where a new era is going to start. So it's okay the way it is right now. I know not everybody's happy because it's come to a point where everything has got mixed too much.
It's too about money, right? Too about
So
business now.
people are trying to make money out of it. People are trying to just get views about it, likes,
Yeah.
social media. Like, the race is different right now.
Yeah.
It is not about just putting the right product right now.
But do you think this shift has happened after COVID, after the pandemic? Like people have got really
I think just before pandemic, it was at the peak.
okay.
Then pandemic started turning it around. So a lot of things started changing then, and that's why I feel there's a little bit of a confusion. I don't know whether it is about what is music and what is good event about a big artist as a name or just good music. So everything is mixed right now where there is good music, but if there is no big name to it, people are not respecting it so much.
Yes.
And if there is a big name and he's putting down sad music, that also people are not accepting it so much. So it's just that confused phase right now. I think it'll come to a point. It's that correction phase right now.
Okay.
That what will stay after this is an all new, like when they say it's a facelift of a car.
Yeah.
That thing will happen to the music where there'll be great talent, which might not be big names, but will be big music.
Okay.
It'll come to that point now where you don't have to be a famous DJ to drop good music. It can be anybody. It can be anonymous. It can be through social media, through all these channels that you can listen to music and all. You will get to see different music, and people will start appreciating it.
And maybe
in
an
a different way.
artist who is up and coming, working, and drops one track which clicks, and then he becomes viral.
Yeah.
Like Kratex, he played at Penthouze as well.
Yeah, I mean, see his
Yeah,
story.
and
Who
now
was
look at
he?
him.
Like, we just knew that he has a different talent than others, and that's why we got him.
Yeah.
It was not about who he is or how popular he is or what like how much business we would do on his night or whatever. I
Right.
think you did that with Jazscape as well.
Yeah.
You
Jazscape,
remember
yeah.
where
He
he
did
was
that
not even a
first
DJ
mashup.
at that point.
Yeah.
He just produced one song and which went viral, and we thought let's call him. And I think that's when you told me that he's not even a DJ, sir. Like he's
Just starting out.
He's starting out just right there, and look how popular his nights were at Penthouse. So I think this is what is the next.
It's gonna come back.
This is the future that people with good talent will stick
shine.
around, and like the way people will even appreciate music is gonna be in a different term. I mean, still there's no clarity. I'll be very honest what the future is gonna be like of music, but I feel just right now, currently, I can say it's at a confused stage.
Okay.
So people don't know. Like, I mean, are we just following a trend and then it goes off? Whereas, where is that legendary music where we still listen to the 20-year-old song and
Yeah.
get still so excited? Right now, we are not listening to that kind of music. Right now, something comes up, it trends for a while, and that's it. It's gone. But some tunes where we drop in a nightclub, people go crazy even if it's a 20, 30-year-old tune. So that music will come back. It'll just take some time.
Well, we can just wait. What is one piece of advice you would like to give to someone who wants to start a nightclub? And it can't be don't.
No, I won't be negative about it, but
Well, if you don't have any enemies, go start a nightclub.
no, I mean, it is not easy, to be very honest. You can't say you need passion. You can't say I have good taste to music. You can't say I'm a good DJ and I have money, so I'll start my own club. It is a legit business. And when I say business, it comes with a lot of responsibility.
24/7, 365.
It is not, when you party and when you make people party is two different things. When you party, it's about yourself. When you make people party, it's about taking his responsibility also.
Yeah.
So you know how situation is right now. And I think, I mean, I wouldn't say don't, because it is a business which has great potential in our country. To make money also, to become a legend, successful, money making sort of a unit also, but you have to get it right. You cannot gamble. You cannot. I would not suggest anybody to do even what I did, that first open and then keep pushing it to make it happen. Now only if you're 100% sure, then you should enter this business, and 100% sure in terms of law, in terms of product, in terms of management, in terms of like getting the right team, then only you do this. Obviously, money is a very big factor, but obviously this discussion not about the money, but it has to be like a right recipe with lot of dedication. That's it.
Yeah, or else just call us. We'll
Yeah, or else just open a place and don't make money. Just play your own music, call your own friends, put lights, sleep at
for the
11
gram.
o'clock.
Oh, speaking about sleeping at 11, o'clock, there was this shift in you where you have this itch. Every 2-3 years, you pick up a sport or you pick up some fitness activity and you excel at it. Earlier, I remember it was about making six-pack abs. So you were like always obsessed about that. Then it shifted to running, cycling, and then the whole Ironman thing happened. How?
Well, obviously, because work is not your life, right? It is part of your life.
How long did it take you to understand that?
COVID. COVID time was the best time and the worst time. But I would still give credit to the best time. Reason being is because I think this was the first time I ever had nothing to do. You know, even since the time you started understanding from school days to college days to university days to starting a business to everything, this was the first time you woke up and you had nothing to do. I mean, not just me, everybody. I think I got lucky to, like use this time to think a lot and to understand a lot more about what and how life should be. Or your rather than using these big words, I would say what your day to day should be like. And again, that's when I realized that we by default end up giving the maximum time to work. uh, what does it give you at the end of the day? You just giving man hours. Does extra man hours give you extra money? Does extra man hours, at work bring you like extra joy or what? Like, then I said this beyond work. And I started thinking about that. And the things that started coming out, where I realized that the core factor is health. And I said, if I have good health, I can always keep doing everything, whether it's business, whether it's travel, whether it's even if I was 60, I can, and if I'm fit, I'll still open a nightclub even when I'm at 60. You can do the same thing that you do in 20s if you're fit. So age is just a number. That's what I realized in COVID, but only if you have good health. Then you can stand up and say age is just a number. Otherwise, you'll be shaking your hands, can't even hold your drink and say age is a
That's
number.
the
No.
number. You have to put
So
in the work.
that's when I said that, I'm going to give 50% importance, not 20, not 30. The biggest factor when it comes to fitness or any sport, people say, I don't have time. I'm too busy.
Right.
That's you're only busy because you're prioritizing your time to something else. That's why you're busy. I did a legit shift that 50% I'm going to give myself only for my well-being and health and everything, and rest 50% can be my social life, my work life,
Personal
my ambitions of making money or starting businesses or everything else. But 50% I've decided that it is my time, like legit my time. Whatever brings peace to me. It is nothing to do with making money. It is nothing to do with career. It is nothing to do with what people think I am or who I am or whether I'm good or bad or whatever. 50% is my time. In that 50%, I'll do whatever I want. And this was when I started, you know, getting into this fitnesses. Also because this 50% time, being realistic, I didn't want to ignore work and do it. I had to balance. So I said, how am I going to do it? I started waking up early. I said, I'll this 50% cut, 50% I'll finish before everybody wakes up.
Yeah. You
Which
get
is where I
done
started
with
waking up at
things.
5 in the morning. So if you say working at 10 o'clock, I'm still at work at 10 o'clock. Like I said, I mean, this thing that I started doing, my cycling, my running, my swimming, or any fitness activity, and all three of these are in my own space and mindset. I'm not doing this as a group activity. So this was 100% talking to myself while I'm running for 2 hours, swimming for 2 hours, or cycling for 4 hours. There's no distraction. So when you're physically and mentally focusing on yourself, a lot of things come out of you, of who you actually are. Sometimes you even don't know who you are. We only think who we are based on which people we are hanging out with,
Yeah.
or what we've been told that this is
Right.
your personality and you
Right.
believe it, or this is what you're good at this, so this is what you believe. How would you know unless you explore it?
Right.
So that is where 50% of the time you give to yourself. Go through all the hardship, go through all the mental breakdowns, go through all the good times also. See what happens to you when you're really happy by yourself. See what happens to you when you're really sad by yourself. See what happens when you're in too much of pain by yourself, you'll answer yourself. You'll give yourself a solution.
Right.
You're not looking for answers from somebody else
Right.
and believing it. So at that point, when you answer yourself and you feel better, that's the truth.
So just take us to the journey of Ironman, the marathon. How many hours is it? And
So Ironman race is actually 4 kilometers of swimming, 180 kilometers of cycling, and then a full marathon after that.
so you do swimming first, then the cycling,
Cycling and then you run.
you run.
So an average cutoff for this race is about 16 hours, and you have to do this throughout back to back.
What goes on in your mind for 16 hours? What are you thinking?
16 hours is the race day is my fun day. You're celebrating that day. What goes on in your mind is what you do for 6 to 8 months before that. When you have to do this every day.
So that's your prep. 6 to 8 months of
Minimum. Like, I mean, luckily I was into fitness, so I could do it in 6 to 8 months. And on an average, a year training is what is recommended to do this race. And consistency is the key in this. Dedication is the key in this. And this can only happen if you really start, enjoying it. This cannot happen just to show it to somebody that you challenge me and I'll do an Ironman. No, it's a tough physical
has to be
activity.
for
It's one of the toughest one-day sports ever. So this changes you as a person to be prepared for the race. I'm telling you, like I said, the race day is not the toughest part. The race day is the most easiest part because that's the last day of my training, technically. And tomorrow I know that I don't have to wake up and do this thing again. So every day waking up at 4 o'clock, which comes with a lot of saying a no's to so many people, upsetting so many people, cancelling so many plans with friends, not traveling, all these things, you need to love it. Otherwise, you can't.
How was your wife's when she got to know that you're going to wake up every day at 4?
Everybody thought it was a fad.
A phase, right?
Yeah, it's a phase. Everybody thinks it's a phase. And it can be a phase to a lot of people. See, there are so many things. I'm telling you, it has a good side also, it has a bad side also. It's a journey like your life.
Yeah.
This Ironman thing is genuinely a journey like a life.
Yeah.
When I started it, everybody thought it was a phase, or everybody thought it was even cool. That running, waking up early, that Instagram stories initially click in.
Yeah.
I started waking up at 4 o'clock or whatever, and people think, oh, nice. But obviously, there are people like, it's a phase, and that's where a lot of people give up.
Right.
It even comes to a point where when I did my first race, everybody's like, oh, nice. Oh, you did it, you finished. Oh, so good, whatever. Second time when I did the race again, they were like, oh my god, like you're a pro now, it's so nice or whatever, really good. Abhi kya? Third time when I started doing it, they're like, अरे पागल हो गया ये अभी. He's got addicted to it. अरे कुछ काम धंधे है क्या नहीं, क्या सिर्फ यही करने का है life में. So you know what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it is all about like how people. You cannot listen to them and decide what this is all about.
You have to be a little bit selfish.
So for me, it has become a little bit of my lifestyle.
Yes.
This has become like my everyday thing. Like everybody has their everyday thing. This is a little bit of my everyday thing. So there is now no story to it. Now it's just my get up in the morning, do my activity, and then start my day. So my day actually, for me, starts after my training. It does not start at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
For me, it starts because before that, it is just like how anybody enjoys a cup of coffee or anybody just enjoys playing a video game. So that is not, you can't say, oh, video game is my passion and that's my life.
Yeah.
This is like this for me. I get up, I do my thing and I'm done and I start my day.
But it's really good to see videos of your wife posting videos of you crossing the finishing line and just hugging your daughter.
I mean, she's come only for one of my races, which was the recent one in London. My daughter was there as well.
Yeah.
And it is nice. Honestly, that was my third race, but my first race where my family was there.
Yeah.
So it's a different feeling altogether. Obviously, that was one of my toughest races because I was not 100% prepared. But just the fact that my family's at the end of the, at the finish line.
So coming back to the marathon, so I was seeing this one interview of Gautam, Gambhir and Virat Kohli. Mm-hmm. They were talking about when they are playing test cricket, it's 2 days of batting in the heat. What goes on in their minds? Gautam Gambhir said, I just chant the Hanuman Chalisa, and Virat Kohli said, I just chant Om Namah Shivaya. Yeah. I know you are also a bit spiritual and religious. What's going on in your head?
Honestly, it is a form of meditation. And people have various ways of meditating. Globally, they think that you should sit in peace somewhere and, in the mountain, in nature or whatever, and that is meditation. No, I think my meditation is when I'm on the bike and I know I have to cycle for 6 hours, 180 kilometers, you do tend to go into a certain trance. There are no stories that you can tell yourself just to entertain yourself, or you can't just sing songs or whatever. You have to go into the meditative stage where your focus is just, to be consistent on the track, uh, stay hydrated, have that energy, everything. So for me, I think I go into the trance zone, and it can be in various forms. So I've even had situations where I'm just talking to myself. I'm, kind of reflecting on my life while I'm cycling for 150 kilometers, 180 kilometers. I'm, thinking about how my journey has been till now, like from my childhood days, the toughest times I've faced then, and what I feel about them today. So it's a lot of talking to yourself. So for me, it is only talking to myself. I mean, which in normal circumstances people think is stupid, right? अरे ये खुद से बात करता है.
No,
You'll call it stupid.
yeah, I
But what
don't.
else are you going to do on that bike? You're not allowed to listen to music. You're not allowed to talk to anybody while you're cycling. So that's the greatest conversations I've had with myself is on the bike.
I mean, all the answers are within.
Everything is within. There is nothing. You're born with it.
Yeah.
It's inside you, and it is basically. So honestly, see this factor of the purpose of life, which people think that everybody tries to figure out what is your purpose of life. It's also some things are because of social media we feel they're trending. I don't want to use that word, but everybody tries to at some point figure out what is the purpose of life. It's inside you, and you just have to go through that phase for it to come out.
Right.
But I feel that it always does not need to be in the hard way. It is not complicated. You just have to figure out. It's like, if there is a snake in that hole, why would it come out of that hole? So if he sees a rat right at the mouth of the hole, he'll come out and take that rat.
Right.
So what is that rat for you? That thing will come out of you.
Got it.
Focus on that rat. Focus on that thing that you like, and you would do it effortlessly. You will figure out your purpose and just dedicate to that. That is the whole thing. So these are the kind of small things that I figured out throughout this journey, where you're constantly giving so much of time to yourself. With so much of talking, all your answers come out.
Right. I mean, it's been a great time chatting with you. And before we end this episode, I just want to share a personal story. During COVID, when everything was shut, the first few months were fun. Like
Yeah.
finally a break, no calls, game is not calling me nice. It was fun. But after a few months, it gets to you. Physically and mentally, I was not in a proper state of mind. And you got to know from someone. And you called me and you had a 15-20 minute chat with me, and it felt like a big brother talking. And you told me, at that point I didn't get it, I didn't understand, but now I do. And you told me, Tarun, if you're sick, if you're not feeling well, if you're depressed, if you're angry, get the fuck out of the house, go for a run, go for a walk, go lift weights.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I like, why is he telling me all this? But today, now, I know. I do that.
What is your experience about it?
About what?
Like, did you try doing any of these three things?
Yeah.
Going to the gym.
It
So
doesn't
what-
look
what-
like I do.
No, it doesn't have to be physical.
Yeah.
That's the myth, right?
I lift weights thrice a week, and
So-
it's for my...
Yeah, so people have associated fitness with the aesthetics of your body.
Yes.
I don't think it's like that. I mean, if you actually see the Ironman athletes, you will not see them through the shape or size or age for that matter. It is a different willpower inside you. So it is not a fitness game, it's a mental game.
Yes.
And that is what your purpose of being fit should be. That you should be mentally fit. You should be physically, you just need to be active.
Right.
Like I said, as long as till the end of the whatever so-called life, you should be able to do your own things, at
Right.
least
You have to be independent till the end.
not
Right.
dependent on something. That's the only level of fitness you need to maintain.
Right.
But throughout this thing, all you need is the strong mind, and maybe that's what you achieve. I've achieved this through my fitness, sports activities.
Right.
But yeah, everybody has to find that
So,
thing.
one advice you would like to give me: just don't be too real. You've known me since so many years. I've literally grown. at
Advice
Penthouze.
regarding what?
Anything.
Life
Can be-
advice.
Anything. It can be anything.
No, I think it's good to see, you go through this change, and I think that's something that you should keep going with. Change is inevitable. Just go with the flow. If there is change happening, let it happen. Whether it's you, your work, your business, your personal life, if there is change happening, don't resist it.
Let
That's
it
all.
happen.
Let it happen and accept it.
Yeah.
That's all I would say.
Very good advice. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for sharing
It
your
was nice.
story.
It was
I-
nice having a different conversation
Yeah,
with you.
yeah, and I'm not stressed for the first time. Thank you. Thank you.